Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to introduce myself as Isabelle Cormier, and here is my partner, Gracy John. Tonight, we will be discussing the different advantages as well as the limitations that are involved with being a counselor in a private practice.
Thank you, Isabelle. As Gladding points out, having a private counseling practice is a goal that a lot of counselors have. There are various reasons as to why having a private practice may appeal to them, such as having more autonomy and being able to specialize in a particular area, such as family counseling or trauma counseling.
Yes. It is also important to mention, Gracie, how in order to be able to start and to maintain a private practice, it does require a lot of commitment and dedication. And on top of that, to be able to run a private practice and to be successful in the entrepreneurial field, the private practitioner would require additional skills that are not within their scope of practice.
The majority of private practitioners strive to work for themselves and not be aligned with an agency. Also, in private counseling, a big emphasis is placed on the prevention and promotion of the positive health. It is interesting to learn how, even though the way that they are being reimbursed for their services have changed, private counseling continues to be popular till this day.
Very interesting. And a lot of counselors who want to open a private practice believe that it would give them more control over their lives because it would allow for them to be able to choose which hours they want to work and in which location they want to work in. Another option that it would give them is that it would allow for them to choose which theoretical approach they wish to use. Also, it would provide them with some added financial benefits as well.
Although having a private practice can be a great experience, we must not forget that it does have some drawbacks too. One of the drawbacks is that it takes a lot of time and effort to set up a private counseling practice unless a person was to buy into a practice that is already established. They're working on a fee for service too.
Right. That's right. So there are some limitations for sure. As you said, it does take a lot of time and effort to be able to develop a private practice, which would mean that it would create financial vulnerabilities because if it does take as much time to build up the private practice, it would mean that they're not able to work and to earn an income. So when compared to the other mental health counseling areas, private practice has a less formalized history. And we also mentioned earlier how private practitioners would require additional skills. Should we name a few of these skills, Gracie?
Yeah, sure. They would certainly require some business skills such as billing, marketing, and bookkeeping.
Yes, and in order to be able to build up their clientele, they would be required to have a lot of patience, persistence, as well as dedications to be able to put in all the hard work and time that it does take, right?
Another important skill that they would need is that they would need to develop a clinical and ethical support system which would allow them to collaborate with other agencies.
That's important. And also, they would need to be quite tech savvy in order to be able to use the devices such as the computers, the telephones, in order to be able to manage their clients, to keep track of the clients and the referrals that are coming in. And with a lot of today's work that is done through electronics, this would definitely be essential in this field.
To be able to build this clientele, they would need to put a lot hard work in full marketing relationship.
And another important thing that a person wanting to open a private practice would need to consider is the need for having someone available for when they go out of town, either on vacation or whatnot, to be available for clients when they're in crisis. That would be definitely important. Right.
They should also be willing to do some pro bonos in order to promote the public good and to be able to build a reputation and practice.
Right. Okay, so Gracie, let's recap some of the advantages that are involved in private counseling.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So, having a private practice would provide an opportunity for counselors to develop a specialty and to then be known in their community for the specialty that they bring, for the service that they provide, which would ultimately build up their reputation in the community as a clinician.
And as we mentioned earlier, a big advantage of having a private practice would be that the counselor is able to set his or her own hours and can decide what location they would like to set up their practice.
Yes, yeah, that's a big one. And also having a private practice would give the counselors a chance to venture off in different treatment services, such as working with special populations or counseling, or different counseling services, such as maybe trauma informed, or trauma counseling.
And it would allow them to develop their entrepreneurial skills such as marketing, billing. Since mental health counselors usually do not have much time, having a private practice would give them an opportunity to actually use these types of additional skills.
So Gracie and I got a chance to talk to a counselor who actually started a private practice after she completed her counseling education. After she got her license, she was able to practice in mental health services for a few years. During that time, she acquired different skills that she was then able to use later on. And after she completed her specialty training, she then set up her own business in private counseling, private practice. She is known as a professional in the community who is providing quality services to the people and families in need. She actually extended her services to the next community over, and is seeing clients throughout the week and even sometimes on weekends. She said that her previous experiences working as a counselor provided her with a lot of valuable ideas for starting her own private practice.
Because she got lots of experience.
That's right. And it actually enhanced her confidence. And it motivated her to focus on her own private practice, which is pretty incredible. So apart from this, she was willing to move to an area. She's now moved on to a larger area, a larger rural area where more clients live, and is able and actually participates in the various group discussion programs regarding health and wellness.
So that means she focused on the clients in need, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's pretty great to hear a story like that and to actually get to talk to a counselor who started her own.
Somebody in a private practice.
Right. Yeah, totally. So overall, Gracie and I feel as though a private practice, a private practitioner, if a private practitioner has all of the skills necessary, on top of the dedication.
All the skills like communication skill, that person-centered, interpersonal relationship, all the skills which is needed for a counselor.
A counselor on top of all the entrepreneurial
dedication.
skills.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you're right.
So we believe that they could be quite successful in opening and maintaining their own private practice, which could be quite an interesting adventure for sure, experience. So we would like to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to our little video here, and we hope you have a great night. And Gracie will give the reference that we used for our video tonight.
So for this video, we used Gladding 2017, chapter 18, clinical mental health and private practice counseling. It gives a lot of information regarding the private practice, the advantages, disadvantages, what are the things we need to focus when we are in a private practice session. So that book's really helped us.
It was a really good chapter.
To collect lots of information from that, and also the experience of the counselor, right? So
all right, well, thank you so much for listening, and hope you have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.